name is Mykel Alvis. I'm talking to you today about tactical thinking. I'm not talking about AI because I'm tired of that shit. My name is Mykel Alvis. I am, in fact, a professional jester. My ikigai is jester, which means that is my reason for being. My job is to tell people how they fucked up. And I love doing that. We're going to talk about tactics. Tactics is the how and the what of what you're doing. It's the, Sun Tzu called it the edge of the blade. What actually gets done. Tactics are what you do when you're making a task perform the outcome. Then there's strategy, which he also refers to as the sovereign of success because he's a strategic master. And the strategy is what and why you're doing it, the goal. So the first thing is a task and the second thing is a goal. The idea is that if you're going to do this, you need to proceed toward goals. And we had a lot of talk a long time for the last 15 years or so, mostly from Dora, who I will shit talk now, about speed and how speed was the only thing that mattered. What made a high-performing team was that you were speed, but speed kills. But speed also saves lives. Doing things quickly has a decent outcome if you are safe. Like when you have a bad ambulance driver, that's not a good plan. Like don't speed to the hospital with a dead person in the back or almost dead. So one of the things we have that people do that I find extremely unpleasant is focusing on strategy exclusive of tactics. They have a plan. They're like, oh, we're going to make this like amazing tool. But the other thing I really hate is when people focus purely on tactics instead of strategy. They're like basically filling a hole. They're doing busy work because someone said, I need you to do this thing now. And right now is a really bad time to do anything. So I've said there's these misadventures we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about one very specific one. Basically what's going to happen is a person is going to come to you. You're an operations person. They're going to go, there's an outage in production. I need you to fix this RTF now, like now. And you're like, yeah, but how did that happen? Well, it happened mostly through misalignment. The communication didn't occur correctly. Nobody said, how is that alignment going to occur? So you did a thing. You did a deployment. You thought that was the right thing to do. And then what happened was there was this difference in communication and prioritization between the person who told the thing to happen and the actual person who executed it, the tactical executor. When we get this, that's entirely novel situation we're talking about. There's never happened to anybody before, is that outage needs to be fixed now, right now. There's customers are down, we got no revenue, everything's going bad, and you're like, okay, I can roll this back, but that database change cannot be reversed. And what are we gonna do about this? Well, the thing is, you can't do anything. You have to think in terms of how is your tooling going to work for you in the future? You've got to think strategically about it. Is everyone here familiar with the sharpen the saw story? Man goes into the forest, sees a guy cutting wood, and he's like, we've got a dull saw, and he's like, not doing very well. He goes, hey man, if you just stop and sharpen that saw for a minute, you'll do a lot better. He goes, I got all this wood to cut. So there is a difference between right and right now. We all know it, we've all been there. They've had somebody tell us to do something right now instead of right. It makes us angry, and that part is about communication, making that alignment go back to where people are talking about the same thing. I have a thing that I say very often. Any weight that you don't have to lift is light. Anybody can tell you to go pick up a heavy weight. Any manager, any person above you in the food chain can tell you to pick up any weight because they don't have to do the lift. And we frequently don't come to work hoping that we're gonna screw our minions or be screwed by our overlords. Not usually, but it does happen. Nobody comes to work to destroy work. At least I don't think so. Has anybody ever done that? The last thing that I want you to do is, like, under these circumstances, deeply avoid malicious compliance. I love it. I love being maliciously compliant. It's so tasty. Don't do that. That's disingenuous. That's very disrespectful to your people, and it is very disrespectful to the thing that we're trying to do, which is achieve balance between strategy and tactics. And balance is really hard because you're frequently in the receiving end of the do now, and somebody else is not giving you full stories. So I'll finish with a quote. Strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mykel.